Development of a particular nation is a comprehensive economic, social, cultural, and political process, which aims at the constant improvement of the well-being of the entire population on the basis of their active, free, and meaningful participation in development and in the fair distribution of benefits resulting therefrom. Water is a crucial natural resource in which mankind's very survival depends. More than any time in history, water is projected to be a vital resource that pushes countries to unwanted war. In order to ensure the availability of water for domestic, agricultural, and industrial purposes, the construction of dams of varying size is imperative. In the past 30 years of independence, the government of Eritrea has been heavily invested in laying the foundation of all-around development programs. As Eritrea is a self-reliant nation, the planning, financing, and implementing of various development projects have been done using Eritrean material and human resources. In addition to this, the Eritrean government has been actively engaged in advancing the development of material and human resources with a view to implement the set-out programs sector by sector. One of the top national priorities is to ensure a sustainable national food security and beyond. Thus, the construction of the strategic and big dams, including Kerkebet, Fanko-Tsumo, Fanko-Rawi, Gerset, as well as Mislam, among others, would be a cornerstone for undertaking the envisaged national development programs of the country.
If we are to say we are utilizing the water resources we have, we should first and foremost invest in building water infrastructures to harness the potentials of the rivers in Eritrea. This will allow us to harvest at least 3 times a year. We should also invest in dairy farming activities through animal husbandry in order to improve the breeds of cattle, livestock, and camels.
There is a lot of soil and water conservation programs within the ministry itself. And then a lot of hectares have been irrigated. But then if you are irrigating, it means like when there is no rain, you're solving a lot of problems through irrigation. We're talking about every raindrop should be conserved also.
አክንዲ ዓመታዊ ካብ ዝናብ ተጸቢኻ ሕርሻ እቶት ምክንዋን ካብ
Instead of relying only on seasonal rainfall, we are undertaking irrigation farming with a view to boost and ensure a sustainable agricultural production at a national level.
The construction of dams in the world started late in 2900 BC. So far, around 46,000 dams have been constructed at a global level. The International Commission on Large Dams confirms that 73% of the construction of these dams had been finalized in the past 50 years. Approximately half of these dams have been built with a height of 15 meters. With regards to big and strategic dams, water is used for irrigation, household, agricultural and industrial consumption, as well as for generating electric power. Developing countries are affected to a higher degree by the climate variability. Due to their poverty, developing countries have not been able to make sufficient water-related investment. Eritrea is a developing country but has made a large-scale investment to achieve water security. This is because it considers water security a prerequisite for the long-term sustainable development. Eritrea has so far constructed over 365 dams and water reservoirs. Thus, this is a vivid demonstration that Eritrea is one of the major developing countries in the world that are working around the clock to ensure soil and water conservation.
هاي مسألة نعلى عليه ما نمزي كله عندي ما عندي عزيز بالكع جماعة توصي مالاتي.
Water is the basis for national development. Short of water, achieving national development would be impossible. Especially in developing countries like Eritrea, ensuring water security is a fundamental priority. The water we receive from the seasonal rainfall is scarce and unpredictable. The rains are erratic in nature, sometimes raining heavily and in a short period of time. The distribution is even uneven. Some farmers usually pray for more rains, hoping to have bountiful harvest. Apparently, there is plenty of farmland in Eritrea, but there is scarcity in water. But if we manage to collect enough, then we would be able to cultivate our land and thus harvest in plenty. And with this in mind, we would be able to boost all-round development programs, including industrial, crops, livestock, and dairy products, among others. For example, there exist some farming activities in nearby areas of the Logo and Misilam dams. These activities are by far bearing fruitful outcome. So far, around 2,000 hectares of farmland has been identified for cultivation in Afhimbol, 7,200 hectares in Hamalite, and 3,600 hectares in Karkabat areas. Therefore, we have a total of around 13,000 hectares ready for cultivation. So there is plenty of land for cultivation, but water is a basic necessity. Despite this, however, and with what we have accomplished so far, we have collected ample amount of water.
ما يطرح قدلي ما يكازح هذا لنا ما يكاحجي أخذ ما يدنا.
The macro policy devised by the Eritrean government following the national charter mainly focuses on the utilization of the natural resources in general and ensuring the availability of water resources in particular. The charter indicates that water plays a crucial role in the development of all sectors. The availability of water comes as a precondition to implement all-round development programs, including for household, sanitation, industrial and chemical consumptions. However, we can hardly achieve the desired goals without a proper and equitable management of water.
The only choice we have is to make judicious utilization of the available water resources we have. The main challenge is to determine where and how we should preserve the water we have and how much farmland is needed for irrigation. These are some of the main concerns that should be addressed prior to launching the Water Infrastructures Development Program. For example, there were some challenges in the construction of a dam around the Barka River with regards to conducting a research and analysis which was quite demanding.
Ensuring food security is one of the top national priorities of the Eritrean government. Thus, more attention should be given to the utilization of water resources, as it is a cornerstone for all-round national development.
So now the question is, where and how can we cautiously utilize the water resources in Karkabat, in addition to the available water reservoirs we have in Garset, Fanko and Ali Gider? We have to introduce new technologies that are appropriate to ensure equitable distribution of water for household, agricultural and sanitation purposes. Besides this, we have to be able to employ new technologies and solar energy systems so as to speed up the equitable distribution of water. Perhaps we can also use gravity to facilitate the process of water distribution and thus develop irrigation farming. Water infrastructure and distribution is among the 11-point roadmap of the development programs. We should work on further refining our programs on water supply for household, agricultural and industrial purposes, employing modern technologies and associated means.
Achieving a national development program requires a great deal of work and commitment towards ensuring a sustainable soil and water conservation. As water is an important natural resource, we should make sure each and every drop of water is cautiously preserved and utilized for the desired purpose of national import.